Under this cover we have something very special. Keen-eyed viewers will know exactly what this is, but for those that don't, stay tuned for a transformation on the fastest convertible car in the world here at Topaz. So you probably got it by now, but if you didn't, this is the €5 million Bugatti Mistral, one of just 99 in the world, and this is the first customer car in the world here at Topaz Leeds. It's just had something we call our Satin conversion, which takes a gloss black car and protects it with Satin PPF, but also transforms the finish from gloss to satin, giving this stealthy, mean look that we see here. And believe me, it is nice in the flesh. I hope it looks nice on the video too. But a few very nice details to point out on this car, all the way around it. We're going to work around this car piece by piece, because I know you want to see all the little details. First of all, Bugatti Mistral in the headlights. It's pretty nice. Not many cars have their name written in the headlight, especially as neatly as that. But then we've got these 4 distinct lights that refers to the car being 4-wheel drive as well as quad turbo. Just a little nod to the car, because this is the same W16 quad turbo that we're used to from the Veyron, from the Chiron. In fact, this is the last production car to use that W16, pumped all the way up to 1600 horsepower. Of course, it was only 1000 horsepower in the very beginning, 20 years ago now, when the Veyron first went into production. But other than that, it's the same recipe, just refined every way. They never made a convertible version of the Chiron. Of course, they did the Veyron Grand Sport and Grand Sport Vitesse. This essentially is the convertible Chiron, but the styling is much, much different, a lot similar to what we're seeing now with the Tourbillon, with Bugatti's new direction having been taken over by Rimac. And here we have the finished result, fully stealthed out Bugatti Mistral W16. This is one of the very first customer cars in the world, but actually, let me let you in on a little secret. At Topaz, we've worked on 3 of these cars already, including the very car that set the world record. That's right, the Mistral is the fastest open-top car in the world, with a top speed with the roof off of 282 miles an hour. Cannot even comprehend how fast that is, especially in a car with no roof. Naturally, being a Bugatti, the interior is as exquisite as the exterior, with some really nice touches to point out to you in here. This car is full launch specification, so exactly as it was seen when it was launched 2 years ago at the Quail at Monterey Car Week, with the exception, of course, of the satin conversion that we've done on it to give it that unique twist. But the interior is exactly the same. And one thing you might notice, inside this gear selector, there's a little emblem. You might be thinking, what on earth is that? That is a bronze sculpture of an elephant. That's a nod to Rembrandt Bugatti, Ettore Bugatti's brother, who was famous for sculpting things like elephants, and that is a little nod to him hidden there inside the gear selector. I cannot think of another single car, never mind one as fast as this, that has an elephant inside the gear selector, and then wood effect around that to give it that vintage feel despite being very much a 21st century car. Then on the center column where the transmission is underneath, you've got the silhouette of the Mistral stitched in there, very nice, just to remind you how cool this car is. And then very bright yellow and brown leather with this lovely checkered woven leather all the way down the center of these carbon fiber bucket seats. This must be an absolutely immense place to be at any speed, never mind 280 miles an hour, But mentioning those high speeds, Bugatti actually did a lot to engineer this car to be usable at all speeds. So we've got wind deflector, as well as something that attaches on here to make it, at most speeds, actually a pretty pleasant place to be without wind buffeting, able to have a conversation with the person behind you, and without your hair blowing in the wind. A lot of the interior is pretty much identical to the Chiron. This car basically is a convertible Chiron. The steering wheel is the same that we know, that engine start button, the mode button on the other side, the flappy paddles, carbon fibre, again, really heavily tinted carbon fibre all the way around. Then these lovely dials down the middle that show you things like your top speed, your maximum power output. 1600 horsepower in this car, but believe me, you can feel like you're going pretty quick with just half of that. And then the only real nod to this car being different on the outside to the Chiron is they've got the little icon of the Mistral from above. They didn't just leave it as a Chiron, they put the Mistral in there so you know what your car looks like from every angle, with the silhouette stitched down there and the bird's eye view. Under the bonnet is normally where the soft top roof for the Mistral lives. It comes with this temporary sort of tent style roof for up to a certain speed if you get caught in downpours. It's not for doing top speed runs in by any means, but normally lives in there along with this plaque, Bugatti Automobiles SES Molsheim, France. That's Bugatti's historic home where these cars are assembled. Edition limitée, French for limited edition, 1 of 99. And this car really is number 1. Just above it is the chassis number. Won't show you that for customer privacy reasons. However, it ends 001, meaning that this is the very first customer production car of the Mistral in the world. One of the most obvious nods to Bugatti's new styling language is the horseshoe, of course. Horseshoe is synonymous with Bugatti cars, all the way down from the tiny ones on the EB110 and of course the much larger radiator grills on the cars from the 20s and 30s to the Veyron's grille, the Chiron's grille, but now they've gone quite literally in another direction. It's much, much wider, and they've got rid of the sort of chicken wire effect meshed within and instead replaced it with this sort of slatted effect. Of course, with the same Bugatti. Each of these badges is handmade, the Bugatti badge proudly presented there in the middle of the horseshoe. Round the back is where I think the Mistral has real presence. Just look at that rear end. It's got this enormous tail light, a kind of X-wing style. We'll get that lit up for you, with Bugatti written within the tail light. Again, more of those slats like it has in the front, and then this enormous rear diffuser, again tinted really dark black carbon fibre, with not 1 but 3 exhausts. There are 2 hidden within the diffuser too, which actually helps suck the car to the ground at high speed by having the hot gases, the less dense air, come out from the diffuser. And this rear exhaust pipe looks almost as wide as the Channel Tunnel. To follow this car on the road must look like following something from space. The engine, I mentioned it already, W16 quad turbo, 8 litre, 1600 horsepower, an evolution of that original W16 from the Veyron. And this is the very last production car, as mentioned, to use it. There will be one more car, the Bugatti Brouillard, using the W16, but that's a one-off. So this is the last production car, all 99, to use this legendary quad turbo engine, which has such a distinctive noise, and with the roof off and the air intakes here, it sounds unbelievable like nothing else. Bugatti are now going to use a V16 naturally aspirated 1800 horsepower hybrid in the Tourbillon, which is a different direction, a different character. I'm sure it's amazing as well, but the character, the turbocharged whoosh of this relentless engine will certainly be missed. One nice little Easter egg, something you'd only get to see if you drove behind this car while it was going fast. It says Mistral underneath the rear spoiler, which is helpfully closing as we speak. Mistral actually means wind. It's a wind that goes along the Rhone River in France. So what better place to write Mistral than underneath the rear spoiler? Just talking about the door handles. They're not just randomly stuck on there. They're actually incorporated with the aerodynamics, this whole kind of C shape that goes around the side of the car to guide air specifically to the various radiators hidden within there, because this car needs cooling. With that 1600 horsepower, it needs to have very, very good cooling. Obviously, it gets hot. And that door handle has been crafted specifically to channel the air exactly where it needs to go. We've got a new wheel design just for the Mistral, kind of diamond cut look with the same 20 and 21 inch tyres. Yellow brake calipers to match the interior, and then next to it the French tricolore, the French flag. That's a little nod for where this car is built. So that was the Bugatti Mistral limited edition €5 million beast sent to us to Topaz Leeds from Bugatti Manchester. So thank you to Bugatti Manchester for trusting us with this exquisite car. Hopefully you enjoyed the process, transforming it from what was an amazing gloss black to the stealthy fighter jet spec in satin black with our Satin PPF. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next one.